Hello, viewers, and welcome to the latest episode of The Huddle. I'm here with Skyelar Perkins, Corporate Senior Director of Slot Operations at Choctaw Casinos and Resorts. Skyelar, thanks very much for joining us.
Alito, thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on. The first thing I wanted to ask is actually just the fact that you've been with the organization for 22 years, unless I'm mistaken, and you've worked your way up from cashier. So I just wanted to ask a little bit about your journey.
Actually, it's about 2 weeks away from my 22nd anniversary. It's right around the corner. And actually, my first job was cleaning toilets and
Wow.
showers at one of the gas stations right across the street here. But that, and then worked in security for several years, and then moved into slot operations. And the last 17 years has been through that route, from working as on the floor as a slot attendant, moving up through supervisor and management, up now into this corporate role. Which puts us over about 23 properties and about 13,200 machines. It's definitely changed a lot in the last couple of decades, for sure. It's been quite an exciting ride.
Mm-hmm. What would you say you learned most? Because, I mean, you've got the advantage of having seen kind of almost every level.
We when I started, it was wall-to-wall bingo. Machines were kind of being evolved. Class 2 electronic gaming devices were actually developed here in the state of Oklahoma. So we're right here, right on the forefront of that. And I got to see that entire evolution for what it is today. And then we also have class 3 games, so that we have quite a variety of it. To even now, we have one of the largest slot floors in the world at our flagship property in Durant. It's got about 7,300 machines on one roof. It's a beast. So it's definitely been, wall-to-wall bingos that give away boats and RVs to now having it where we've got a promotion where it's 3 months and there's $1 million winner every single month. So it's definitely come a long ways. We've got to see evolution of everything that's happened in class 2 and 3, and excited to keep on the forefront of it.
Absolutely, and the tribe itself is a big tribe. How do you work with the tribe, the property, and the tribe? Because a common difference that's come up with tribal and commercial is that planning at a tribal operation is usually a lot more long term. There's not kind of this quarter to quarter focus, and obviously there's a lot of focus on kind of giving back as well.
Right. I mean, the tribe has got 100-year vision is what they focus on, which on some level doesn't seem realistic, and they understand that even you can't totally see that far, but it's the idea to go through that concept that you're thinking in that level. We're fortunate is that with tribal leadership, from chief, assistant chief to council, a lot have been around for a while. We've been able to grow through this together. And there's a lot of us that are on this side. And, I've been here 22 years, but I find you a list of people who've been here 25, 30, 35, 40, right? They've been here since the get-go when we first opened up in 1987. So to have that, there's definitely a high level of trust in what it is we're doing here. Also, we've proven ourselves. We've got a very healthy track record of being successful with what we're doing here on the commerce side. So there's a lot of trust from the tribe, what's happening, to make sure that we're able to generate that revenue for tribal efforts, right? From healthcare to housing to paying for school, all the things. The list of things that they do, and not only just for tribal members but also the local communities. Something that's very unique in the state of Oklahoma. The reservations exist in a very different manner than they do everywhere else in the United States. There's no segregation. So the tribes are actually fully integrated in the local communities as well. So everybody's their neighbors just down the street. Everybody's going to the same school system. It's all a very different type of relationship here in the state of Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. You touched on it there about Oklahoma in general, but can you give us an overview of the gaming scene in Oklahoma? Because we just spoke to Sheila Morego ahead of the OIGA trade show, the biggest little show in Indian gaming. But she was talking about the real power of the tribal operators in Oklahoma, and that is perhaps a little underestimated elsewhere in the U.S.
Yeah, no, there's again, what's a little different here in Oklahoma is that full integration of the community. So partnerships with the local communities are on a different level. I mean, there's a lot of tribes that are great community partners where they're at. It's just very significantly different on how everything happens here because of where the lines are at. And the last economic study. We partnered with the Oklahoma Tribal Financial Consortium, and you can find a lot of it for unitedforoklahoma.com. You can find it there. But I think it was 2022 fiscal year, and the tribes as a whole had about a $15.7 billion economic impact on the state. So I mean, that goes from everyone that we're paying, everything we buy, our healthcare systems, our grocery stores, tribes, chocolate factories, meat processing plants, all the things, right? That were all the different verticals that the tribe's involved in, even outside of gaming, and how that's integrated in the communities and what kind of impact that has. It's definitely significant.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to your role, you've already mentioned as a lot of properties that come under your remit, and by extension, a lot of machines. In terms of your kind of leadership style and how you look to get things done, how do you approach kind of overseeing so much?
So, I mean, yeah, it is a lot, right? And you get to a certain point, it's been a lot for a long time. There's several things. I'm fortunate is I've got a team, the people that are at the properties that are directly responsible for the day to day and what's happening. Again, I've got people been here 20 years, 15 years. So a large number of people that are my immediate reporting structure that have been here for a long time. And so that definitely helps. And again, we've all been able to come through this journey together and grow together. So there's a high level of trust that happens there. We've tried very much so, and obviously there's all sorts of different views on that, but from a corporate type structure is that we try to be more supportive in what it is that they're doing, how it is we can help remove hurdles, roadblocks, as opposed to being the type that's going to dictate everything from a centralized office. Obviously there are some things, some policies, maybe contracts, some stuff that maintain it on a corporate level, but a lot of the day-to-day stuff, they have a lot of flexibility in that. The thing is as long as we're getting to our end goals and what it is that we're trying to accomplish for the tribe, then it's fine, right? There's different routes to take that, and they know the property better than I do because I'm not there. They're there every day, right? We keep a pretty healthy blend. It's a lot. The reservation covers, I think it's 11,000 square miles, which is like 7 million acres, and our properties are spread across all of that, right? So like to drive, don't go to all 23, take you a good 3.5, 4 days to visit everybody. But we still do a lot of in-person meetings. Obviously, technology's helped kind of make some of the virtual stuff a little better. But there's a lot of face-to-face time. They come here, we go there. Try to keep that good mixture of that to maintain those relationships, and then obviously too, you got to have a little fun here and there. And so long as you're doing that, then it seemed to work out pretty well. In the slot departments across all the properties, I think there's somewhere around about 850 employees in that specific department across the 23, and I think the average user service is like 12. So Choctaw's a fantastic employer, so that's a big part of it. But then obviously I think of myself as a great leader, but there's a whole bunch that work underneath me that are fantastic leaders. A lot of my peers do extremely well. So we're very fortunate to have a work culture here, which directly mimics a bunch of the tribe's culture with faith, family, and culture. Is a lot that we kind of drive. Even here on the commerce side is very similar. So obviously it's working.
Yeah, I mean, that's really encouraging to hear that average kind of, you say, of 12 years. And you mentioned a few times people who've been there longer than you and maybe sort of slightly less at 15, 20. You mentioned also kind of trust and support. I mean, are those really the keys to keeping people working at one place for such a long time? Because I'm approaching 6 years here at Gambling Insider and Gaming America. But, these days, a lot of people are moving around, especially in gaming. What's the kind of secret for you guys?
Yeah. Some of that, a lot of times people, they don't leave jobs, they leave people. It's whoever they're working for primarily. I mean, a lot of companies out there are good, but sometimes you got, hopefully, as a few bad apples as you can keep, but some have more than others, right? But like that, typically, like even too, if you see someone leaves a company and then you see a string of people right behind them, it may not even have to do with the fact that they have anything against the company they're with. They just really want to work for this person wherever they're at, right? And they want to be with them. So, most of that has been here is that, fortunately, a lot of folks that are homegrown, so we're not far from home, so less likely to leave. But some of that is just being consistent, right? I mean, it's no different than I feel day to day with my children, is just being honest with them, being consistent, right? And just being fair. And so as long as that's happening, then you should be able to keep moving in the direction. I mean, because things are up and down. You have some associates that are upset, but like I said, I've been here almost 2 decades. I've seen it all. It's Sicilic. Some of them leave. They go out in the world and then they come back, and then they're some of the best associates we've ever had at that second round, as they had other exposure to other leadership or ideals or processes. So it's the long game, even when it comes, we talk about that, how Tribe sees everything. It's no different in the way that we're leading day to day. It's about that long term. And even if someone leaves, they don't always leave on bad terms. You want to make sure they still hold the tribe in a good light, because they're more likely still in your community. They're still a part of the community, and maybe they're working at, local restaurant, or they're running their own business. You want them to still think highly of their time when they were at Choctaw. Maybe we partner together now. It could be all sorts of things, right? So no different than we want to be the destination, a choice for people, for your consumer, right? For our guests that come here. We want to be a partner of choice for vendors and anybody that has a product. We want people to be choosing, want to do it. And then we want to be an employer of choice, right? We want where people want to work here, want to be a part of it and speak highly about it. And that's where most of the benefits that they push out are driven from, and try to focus around. And my primary job is just take care of the tribe's interest. And the best way I can take care of the tribe's interest is take care of the associates.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well said. Given your job title, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you at least a little bit about the actual slots themselves and the casino floor. What are the kind of biggest trends that you're seeing at the moment? Because, we do see a lot of evolution, but at the same time, there's certain classics that never really go away either.
Sure. And it varies from market to market. We have some here that have been, since the early 2000s that are still on the floor, same serial number, same game, right? Lots of newer stuff too. Here lately, it's more of the same, which is fine because the stuff works extremely well. Not an issue there. I'm on a customer advisory board for most major and even some of the unknown slot manufacturers all across the globe. Involved in a bunch of that. Most of them are on pace where they should be. Most of the things that are more exciting or the more the focus on are kind of ancillary things like your concierge apps. Things that can happen around it, right? As they start moving towards augmented reality or virtual reality, your online space and that merge with your physical space. It's more so that kind of focus as opposed to slot machines. The slot machines are on a pretty good cadence. They seem to be firing on all cylinders across every manufacturer. Everybody's got at least a few things that are working and rocking. So that part's good, and it's been good, and their pipelines and their strategic plans look solid, right? So really, it's more so about that supporting software and the things that you do, and how do you continue to make an experience for that guest while they're playing that slot machine. Expecting to lose but hoping to win, but they just want to have a good time, right? So they're trying to make sure that that's what happens.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely take your point about the different kind of software and innovations that sort of surround the slots experience. But if we were to zone in perhaps on the slots and the machines themselves, are there any at the moment that you would highlight as kind of this is the most popular game, or any manufacturers that are kind of really hitting the spot at the moment?
I mean, for us here in Oklahoma, we're fortunate. It's a very competitive market right now. Some of the stuff that's out there, Aristocrat, VGT, which is a Class 2 offering, is great. But there's a lot of winners from Line Wonder and IGT, some other Oklahoma-based original companies like AGS, Every. I mean, there's a lot of them in, compared to their footprint here in the state and what's happening. They're all doing extremely well, right? And there's a lot of still exciting things happening. There's the stuff between some of the consolidation or what have come from IGT and Every. With Apollo, right, like that piece of it. And obviously looking forward to is that, more about expansion of gambling here in the state, like sports betting possibilities online, et cetera, right? But yeah, in general, I mean, like you can see any kind of report, talk to most anybody, Aristocrats out there in front, but there's plenty of people that are there, nipping at their heels, trying to make sure that they're going to have to keep working for it and stay out there with their Class 2 offering that they have here through VGT or the Class 3. So there's definitely people that are putting pressure on them every day, which is great for me as an operator, right? It makes that great for the guests. It makes it great for whenever we're sitting there doing analytics, because we got all sorts of options and choices and things that we can do. So no, definitely a lot of winners there. Electronic table games is not something necessarily picked up as much here, but we have, with Interblock being a better option with it. But we have a lot of Novomatic that does extremely well too. So even in that round, we're seeing some success in smaller samples of it. So yeah, no, it's good. I mean, everybody, like, so we've got everyone here, Konami, Class 2 manufacturers. Some people may not are familiar with some markets like Eclipse, Aries, some of those types of folks. But so I think we have about 22 vendors total, Blueberry, Dribble Technologies, and everybody's got something that's pretty decent on the floor. Everybody's got some stuff they could work on, right? But that's the name of the game, and everybody is, and they're attempting that. And so we got a good cycle of stuff coming in, and some things are a flash, and then some things end up being tried and true. So.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that thorough rundown there, and as you say, greater choice, greater competition. Ultimately, the beneficiary, the ultimate beneficiary is the player because they get the best experience. I wanted to end with a final question, which hopefully, well, it's a positive. I wanted to ask, given your time with Choctaw, what's your proudest individual career moment?
My proudest individual career moment. I don't know if I necessarily have any individual moment. Like most people you find that have been in the company for a while, like even here, I obviously had no intention of staying even, right? I was going to get through school and on about my life, then now here I've been for 2 decades, been loving all of it. I think if I try to maybe kind of summarize it, it's just been through my job, and 2 things is the impact that I've been able to have on the people that I lead. They call me a mentor, which was a weird thing for me when that kind of thing started happening. But on a professional and personal level, be able to have that kind of impact that like my father had on me when I was growing up. And so to be able to have that and share that with people, even outside of my own immediate family. And then the type of work that I'm doing in the blood, the sweat, the tears, what it does for the tribe, right? Is then we're driving EBITDA margins, and what it is, if they got an extra dollar, the effort that's happening there. My wife is a tribal citizen as well as my children. So I mean, obviously they give me a paycheck and I'm able to take care and support my family, but then they're tribal. They get help at school. There's healthcare. There's other opportunities that could be afforded to them through the efforts that are happening here on this commercial side. And they're going to have some efforts there too. So to be able to be a part of that, not only for the 250,000 citizens that make up the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, but obviously my own immediate family and my wife's family, is that to know that the work that I'm doing here is even better for me and more impactful because it's my family, it's my neighbors, and trying to help them create a healthy and sustainable lifestyle for Choctaw people. So,
well, yeah, if I may say, that's a lovely answer. And overall, Skyelar, thank you very much for your time. Really enjoyed the insights, and I feel like if we were to speak for a few hours more, you'd have a lot of stories to tell over your kind of time with the tribe. But thank you for your time today.
Thank you. Yeah, cookie.
And to our viewers also, thanks for watching.